So here I am today at the Dark Hedges, what's known as the Dark Hedges. It's incredible. It's one of the most photographed sites in all of Northern Ireland. And if you're a fan of the series Game of Thrones, this was actually known as the King's Road, the King's Highway. Well, I think this represents something very unique about the coming of Christianity and the coming of the light of Jesus Christ into this dark culture. If I step a little bit, now I've stepped out of the dark and into the light. Now, this was the world that St. Patrick entered. He came into the world of pagan darkness. If any series could represent pagan darkness, I know of none other than Game of Thrones. The wickedness, the evil, the sin, all of the things depicted in that series could very well illustrate a world without Christ. Did you know there's an old sort of parable that St. Patrick actually drove the snakes out here of Ireland? Well, that's quite a story, and we don't actually know as historians whether or not that's true. There might not have even been snakes in the time of Patrick. Certainly there are none today because of the culture and the climate. However, here is what I think it represents. He comes into a world like Game of Thrones darkness. He brings in, first of all, a full-on devotion to Jesus Christ. He's praying hundreds of times a day. His first heart commission is to love the Lord his God with all of his strength, and then to love his neighbor as himself, or to love all those around him. And so he displays the love of Christ, the power of Christ, even in places like the Dark Hedges, and they become transformed by salvation. He overturned in one generation. Did he drive the snakes out? Yes. If they represent spiritual darkness, he drove the snakes out of Ireland forever. And he ushered in hundreds of years of the glory of God here in this beautiful nation of Ireland. And the nation today is still displaying revivals and people being raised up and trained and sent to the nations. There's still this beautiful atmosphere here, all because one man took a stand for Christos Victor, Christ the victor. And thus Jesus Christ took a stand, and his sacrifice of blood was announced here. And no longer did they have to sacrifice their children or animals in blood. Now they believed in the one who came, the God who sent his own Son to be the beautiful sacrifice. That's Jesus. That's the God whom you and I serve. And that's the kind of message that transformed this culture in one generation from pagan darkness or the Dark Hedges into the King's Highway.